And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know what his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come near to wild beasts? So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry.
Matthew 5:43, what Christ speak that up.
We got that over there.
Okay.
An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips.
What he do, Malik?
An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit.
Right.
He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. He will shake his head and clap his hands.
What he gonna do?
He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. Matthew 5, you got that?
A second witness to that is Matthew chapter 5, verse 43.
But you hear what it say an enemy will do. Shake his head and clap. What do they do all that as long as they're against you? But Matthew 5:43 and then
Through 48.
I got a whole incident. And David talked about Israel. He said, if the enemy, when David's right-hand man sold him out, he said, if he had been another enemy, all throughout the Old Testament, because we was a nation of ourselves, everybody was looked at outside of the enemy. But what you about to read in Matthew 5:43, Christ going to tell you have heard. So it's written that, let's read and see what it says.
Right. Matthew chapter 5, verse 43.
Go ahead.
Ye have heard that it hath been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy.
Well, your neighbor, you know, is the house of Israel. And it said, and hate your enemies. You heard that. But what Christ said now, things going to change.
Verse 44. But I say unto you, love your enemy.
Do what?
Love your enemy.
Right.
Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust.
Right.
For if you love them which love you, what reward have ye?
If we just love each other all the time, what reward do we have of? You know, if there's some wicked out there, and love, like we say, is the law. When you love the new neighbor, which is other nations, now you have to love them with the law. You can't love them outside of that.
Right.
This is not talking about calendar love.
Right.
We're not talking about
Plants and flowers.
plants and flowers and what's the day? 4th of July. What is it? Valentine's Day.
That's a masterpiece.
So we're not talking about calendar love. We're talking about the law, statutes, and judgment. You can't love nobody that's not receptive to that. If a Klansman used to be a Klansman, he want to turn in, he's down with the law. 9 days. He accept, yeah, I did some bad things. This is why you understand, like Strom Thurmond and all them vile racists back in the day. Before they die on their deathbed, they want to get right. The Most High allowed the wicked to live so that they may turn from their wickedness. We deal with a just God. If he put them to death, guess who's next going to be on the chopping block? You. Because we out seeing them, don't we?
Yeah. We kill each other like it's dead.
Let's read some more, y'all. But I got 1,000 of them here that where it say that in the concordance. Y'all, and always good thing, let me just say this about it. If you got a concordance, a dictionary in the scripture, you can understand the Bible because every word of the Bible is in a concordance. So if you can't remember it, go to either word in that paragraph and it's going to show you where it's at in the scripture. so you can go to it and understand. A dictionary will help you with every word. If you read a passage and it said, and thou ambiguous or something like that, and you keep on reading and I ain't got a clue what ambiguous means, you done lost the whole meaning. You got to stop, look it up. Ambiguous. Fathead. Think he knows everything. Okay. Then you can keep on, now you understanding the scripture. So you can understand this is going to take a lifetime. But if you in this to read it tomorrow, I'm going to read a chapter a day. That's my New Year's resolution. A chapter a day.
Speed reading.
No.
Because it says, with all ye getting,
Get understanding.
ye understand.
Let's move it on, y'all. We got about 10 minutes, y'all.
Again, verse 47. And if ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so?
So this is what Christ is saying. If you just salute your brother, if all we do is hang around Hebrew, what about the other people outside that's starving for the law of God? What about these other people? Around us, we going to be who we are. But guess what's going to happen? We're going to start getting at each other then. Y'all know how it goes. Pretty soon, somebody going to get at somebody else. We mad now. And then we're going to become enemy in our own household. Y'all know how it works. Right. We can't take it no longer. Right. Yes. Have them games on. Yeah, I wonder what that nigga up to. Now he's a nigga. And we Israelites.
Right. Okay, that concludes.
So that's why Christ said the Pharisees do the same. Church people do the same. They just hold that. Y'all, the script tell us don't be in fellowship. And when we look at fellowship, it means to be in allegiance with. You can deal with a Muslim if it's on business or different thing, but when it comes down to God, it's talking about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, not Allah. Right. We ain't gonna share this.
No compromise.
But can you go to their store? Can you hang out with an Ishmaelite? Yeah. But when it comes about affiliation, anything, somebody tell you, look, bro, you really put that down. You'll be a good candidate for the Masons or a part of our social organization. You can't be in affiliation with that. You're like, no, bro. We do, but I'll come to the party, but I can't be a part of it. I can't be in fellowship with darkness.
Ephesians 5:11.
Let's get some more of this, y'all. Where we at? Let's get back on this mallet. I want to hit just that Exodus. Because we were talking about the color of Christ. And we've seen constantly Christ's color is compared to an object. So you don't make no mistake about it. He compares it to something. I'm like the color of amber. I'm like the grass burned in a furnace. So it's telling you of what it's compared to, so you get a vision. But you will never get a visual of his face in his glory. You ain't gonna get that. Why? Because we'll do the wrong thing with it, y'all.
You get it tatted on you or something?
Yeah, all tatted across the chest.
Tattoo part. Oh yeah,
Hell, right now they had a piece of toast on eBay.
Exactly right.
What they call
On the face of Christ on a piece of toast. And had 20,000 flock in the sea.
Are you serious?
Boy, they better be glad I wasn't there, because I had some grits and some scrambled.
Boy, there'll be some strawberry jelly in that bud. Lazy.
Let's get it on, man. Where we at?
Exodus what? You said Exodus.
Let's go to Exodus chapter 33.
Chapter 33.
Y'all, we're going to see what Moses asked to see Christ's face.
All right, Exodus chapter 33. Where we start? Verse 1?
No, start about verse 8.
Verse 8. Exodus 33, verse 8.
We just get right to the heart of y'all, because we only got a few minutes.
And it came to pass, when Moses went out unto the tabernacle, that all the people rose up and stood, every man at his tent door, and looked after Moses until he was gone into the tabernacle. And it came to pass, as Moses entered into the tabernacle, the cloudy pillar descended and stood at the door of the tabernacle. The Lord talked with Moses.
The Lord is always in a cloud. We read Acts 1, you see a cloud descended, picked him up, or what we call today UFOs are unidentified flying objects, but the scripture explained it to us. They ain't identified to us as an IFO, identifiable flying object. Ezekiel 1:27 tell us what the Lord's chariots look like. He said it's like a wheel inside of a wheel with many eyes. And it was looking like this. What said it had eyes round about. This is what Ezekiel seen in his vision. What we call the spaceship, Ezekiel 1:27. And we'll see that he said, oh, the chariots of God. It came and picked Christ up. You see always, and just like Independence Day, it was a thick cloud, and it had everybody amazement, moving, and then all of a sudden a cloud enfolding itself. It's like it's rolling, and then all of a sudden the chariot of God bust out through it. They stunned. Now think about this. This nation is so haughty in its mind that this technology is so far advanced. And you abase people and studying from them, but also you figure out how to destroy this wise people from another planet ain't figured out yet that they got a loophole in their equipment, and ours is 10,000 years behind theirs. It's foolishness, but that's what they do so that you will run from this instead of run to our salvation. All the ones that you see now, Satan is creating them. The ones of Christ gonna come back, you gonna know them immediately. It's a movie I call Cosmic Slop you can get to. It's a movie about when the UFOs come and remove all the black people from Earth.
The TV show they had on back on NBC. That's like in the 80s. George Clinton broke in the race.
Right, George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic. That's what he always did. That's what the mothership was.
Yeah.
He's standing up there in dreadlocks. He's showing you what it's going to be like. See, y'all, it's going to be without excuse. There ain't going to be no excuse we're going to be able to say on Judgment Day, I didn't know. It's everywhere. All our holy days on the regular calendar. So why we continue to do these heathen holy days and won't do our holy days and say, well, I didn't know them, Lord. The preacher didn't tell me. Well, did they have them on the calendar? Every time you look and tell you when the new moon come in on every regular calendar. Let's move on now.
Also, y'all write down Zechariah chapter 5, 1 through 4. That's another witness on the chariots. And there's many more. We probably got to do a class on that.
That's right. Every time you see them, it's no thought of nobody's imagination.
Zechariah.
They already, they soothsayers know how it's going to go down. Christ is coming back in those IFO, identifiable flying objects, because they already been identified to us in the scripture. If you don't know what that is, you see it over there, that's from the government. But we got a description of how Christ is coming back. Let's get some more. When he picked up Ezekiel, 1 Kings 17. Let's get some more.
Verse 10. And all the people saw the cloudy pillar.
Yeah, all the people saw it. Just think about Independence Day when you're doing this, because we are visual people. Think about the one scene before it bust out, everybody standing like this. Cars crashing into each other. Let's move some more, Mal.
All right, verse 11. That's right here.
No, verse 10.
Verse 10. And all the people saw the cloudy pillar stand at the tabernacle door. And all the people rose up and worshipped every man in his tent door.
Right.
And the Lord spake unto Moses face to face.
How did the Lord speak to him?
Face to face.
Face to face. Y'all going, bro? Y'all be safe out there. It said the Lord spoke to Moses face to face. Like this. Let's read some more.
As a man speaketh unto his friend.
As a man do what?
Speaketh unto his friend.
Right.
And he turned again into the camp. But his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle. And Moses said unto the Lord, See, thou sayest unto me, Bring up this people. And thou wilt not let me know whom thou wilt send with me. Yet thou hast said, I know thee by name. And thou hast also found grace in my sight. Now therefore I pray thee, if I have found grace in thy sight, show me now thy way that I may know thee, that I may find grace in thy sight, and consider.
Take him for a walk, bro. Just take him for a walk down the hall. Just a second.
And consider that this nation is thy people. And he said, My presence shall go with thee, and I will give thee rest. And he said unto him, If thy presence go not with me, carry us not up hence. For wherein shall it be known here that I and thy people have found grace in thy sight? Is it not in that thou goest with us?
Oh, right, we see grace. Same grace that's in Genesis 9 when Moses found grace. Grace ain't just started, I'm saved by grace.
Right.
No, grace been around.
Yeah.
Moses saying right here, grace is shown. Anytime the Most High spare your life with the things we done, the things we woke up this morning, the thoughts on our mind, we ought to be dead now.
Right.
But grace is being shown on us. Let's get some more, man.
So shall we be separated, I and thy people, from all the people that are upon the face of the earth. And the Lord said unto Moses, I will do this thing also that thou hast spoken, for thou hast found grace in my sight, and I know thee by name. And he said, I beseech thee, show me thy glory.
Now, this is what Moses asked. Show me thy glory. Show me in your form in the Godhead. Show me your form when you're going to take the kingdom. I want to see your glory. I want you to come from out of that thick cloud. I want to see you face to face. Now, see, the Muslim would take that face to face verse and say, now right here, but when you get over here, it says that no man can see my face. That's the Bible contradicts that. No, it ain't. If a cloud come right here and a voice is coming out of it, it's talking to me face to face. It's right there. It's right there. But Moses says, show me what you look like in your supernatural form. I just want to see it. You know, I want to see you looking like God. You know, let's read some more.
Verse 19, and he said, I will make all my goodness pass before thee, and I will proclaim the name of the Lord before thee, and will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and will show mercy on whom I will show mercy. And he said, thou cannot see my face.
Now, we just read, he talked to him face to face, right? But right here, he tells him, you can't see my face and live. Because you, Moses, you done tripped once, twice, 3 times. No, you can't see my face. Because, look, soon we come out of Egypt, what they do to Aaron? Moses thrown up there, and Aaron was right there with Moses. That quick, he said, give me your earrings then. And Moses up talking to the Lord, and the Lord say, I heard. That sounds like folly down there. They clown. Lord, they worshiping your name. They worship. The Lord said, no, that ain't my worship. I heard some beats, and I heard see some hips swiveling. No, that ain't what goes on in my tent.
So originally, there was no Soul Train line.
No. Not original. So when Moses came back down the mountain, he took the first set of 10 commandments and threw them, and they ground them to dust and made them eat it. Just like the sacrifices we do, you had to eat the sacrifices to show your sin. You know, to alert you to it. Moses ground them up. Moses went back up into the mountain and had another set of commandments made. The first set was destroyed when Aaron made the golden calf. Now, we come out of Egypt with all the miracles, and we sin immediately after coming out of there. Is we crazy or what? Is we crazy? Man, that's the proper
You done walked on dry land
and looking at a water above you just holding itself back. You walking through this cloth that's tripping. And then right back in here, you want to go back to Go right back to Egypt. A dog returning to his mama. Let's get some more, man.
Verse 20, and he said, thou cannot see my face.
What?
Thou cannot see my face, for there shall no man see me and live.
No man see me and live. Jacob saw the Most High in Genesis 32. He said, I have seen the face of God. I'm going to die. He's like, you ain't going to die, partner. Because I reduced myself and we was wrestling around. You know, but I came in the form of man. We see, you ain't seen me in my glory. You ain't seen me like on the Mount of Transfiguration. Behold, all those be in a vision. But Moses talked to him. Let's see what he said, though, he's going to do for Moses.
And the Lord said, behold, there is a place by me, and thou shalt stand upon a rock.
So he said, there's a place by me. Moses, stand on this rock. So Moses stood up there.
And it shall come to pass, while my glory passeth by, that I will put thee in a cliff of the rock, and I will cover thee with my hand while I pass by. And I will take away mine hand, and thou shalt see my back parts, but my face shall not be seen.
So he put him in the cleft of a rock and walked past him like this. And when he got past him, he moved his hand. He kept on going.
Make an image of that.
Because everybody killed him. Yeah. Draw a picture of that.
Pardon my back.
He won't be shooting the moon either. He'll be shooting the eclipse.
Pardon my back, son.
Right. So y'all, we see that in his glory, is that what a lot of people were seeing in his brightness? Because when Moses came down off the mount, that's what he punished Miriam and Aaron for. They say, don't you know, everybody else I talk to in visions and dark speeches, but to Moses, he's my servant. I talk to him face to face. Now, ain't nobody else going to do that but the prophet that's coming. My son, I'm going to talk to him face to face. Well, I already talked to him. So he let it be known. He said, why wasn't y'all scared to talk to Moses? And I done set him apart from everybody else. But they had to put a veil over Moses' face so that they could look at him. I mean, because they couldn't stand it. The glory of the Lord, they was always like this. Cover yourself up. And he just had to wear a veil. Like, the funeral veil, how they have women walk, just like that, to keep the light down. Yeah. Because Moses was in the presence of the Lord in his glory. We're going to hit a couple more, y'all. We got about 5 minutes.
I want another one in Exodus.
You want to hit that other next? Go ahead.
Exodus 23. Exodus 23, verse 20.
Go ahead.
Down to 23. And about the angel of the Lord. Book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 20. This is us coming about the land and about to go into the promised land. Coming out of Egypt, going into the promised land.
And this is what y'all ain't heard us say yet. What I feel, what I think. We don't feel and think down here for the Lord.
Right.
We can't think for the potter, we the clay.
Right.
What we say is, thus saith the Lord.
That's right.
Isaiah 55 tells us his thoughts are not our thoughts. His ways are higher than our ways.
Right.
What we look like, well, what I feel here, the Lord is trying to express. But no, we don't feel nothing.
Okay.
We go to thus saith the Lord. Look, this is what the Lord say.
Right.
If you go doing this,
right,
me and you, this is what's going to happen. So now we can take the chance to us. Thus saith the Lord.
And with any person that's supposed to be teaching the Bible, you're looking at him as a spiritual leader or whatever, you got a question about the Bible, him as a man of the Lord should go to the scripture and give you your answer.
Ooh, right.
I don't pat on the back what he think, feel, I think you should and I feel it. That's bang jangle.
Right.
He can give you death, for real, tell you something carnal that lead to death, and you took that as advice from the Lord because you think that's a man of the Lord, right? If you got a question about the Bible, you heard me, the answers are in the Bible. Your job is to get to flip it and find it. Then you got a decision to make on whether you're going to order your steps based off the word or my mama said.
That's right.
Or my grandmama said.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's all in the script already. Thing is, you got to labor and find it. You got to study for it.
You think cause your grandma been going to church every day of the week, she may be a master at this. But a master of these scriptures, that's what you got to be listening for. Because she obeyed the church rule, and that's why they don't have the law of the Lord at the beginning of the church. They got the church covenant.
They got the church
posted.
That's right.
No gum choke.
No gum choke.
Turn yourself.
Lightly to the bathroom.
Right.
That will get you to the kingdom.
Don't question the
Lord,
man.
I never chewed no gum in church.
But the law of the law, it ain't nowhere to be found.
Because they're a subsidiary of the Catholic Church.
You know what we're talking about. Let's get some more of that now.